check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. Jerod Mayo has done a, shall we say, interesting job with the New England Patriots this season. This man right here has been under a lot of scrutiny in his first year in New England, especially seeing as the Patriots do not look the slightest bit good and find themselves at 3-8, sitting dead last in the AFC East. It was always going to be a tough task to succeed Bill Belichick, and it was always going to be an even tougher task when you realize that Jerod Mayo had very little coaching experience going into the season. But man, this season has not gone well at all, and there are even some rumors, however unsubstantiated they are, about Mayo potentially being a one-and-done coach, with the locker room not responding to him well, especially when he called this team soft. Again, how much of those reports and rumors are true or not remains to be seen, but it's not as though Mayo has done a whole lot of good this year, especially with his bizarre explanation after the Patriots-Jets game on Thursday Night Football, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And perhaps no decision underwent more scrutiny than the one he controversially decided to make during Sunday's Patriots-Rams game, which might have proven to be extremely costly in the grand scheme of things. But before I get to why the decision in the game between these two teams behind me right here was highly controversial, if you like learning more about other controversial decisions made during NFL games, both from this season and previous seasons, then this is the place for you, because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. Alright, here's the situation. It's 3rd and 7 at the 32-yard line, and the Patriots get the first down, as Drake May's pass to his tight end, Hunter Henry, sets him up inside the red zone. That's the good news. The bad news, though, is that it's coming back, as the Patriots get a call for illegal formation. It's a 5-yard penalty, and obviously, head coach Sean McVay is going to accept the penalty. So now, the Patriots are faced with 3rd and 12. This time, May's pass falls incomplete, so now the Patriots have the ball at the 37-yard line, still well within range for Joey Slye on paper to get the field goal, but definitely not in the red zone with the chance to get a touchdown like they would have been if it wasn't for the previous penalty. The Patriots have the ball at the 37-yard line, still well within field goal range on paper for Joey Slye. It's going to be a tough kick, but for Slye, it's more than doable. So let's see how this field goal try on 4th and 12 goes.
You know, they're going to bring the, yeah, you're right, they're going to bring the punter, Bryce Behringer out, so they're not going to go for it.
I mean, you needed that 10-point lead at home.
10-year veteran.
Game.
What?
Offense, 5-yard penalty.
What?
You took a delay of game penalty? You're intentionally taking a delay of game penalty to back up for a punt? Are you not trying the field goal? You're not going to let Joey Slye, who's got a pretty strong leg, attempt one from 55 yards out? You're going to bypass the opportunity to make it a 2-score game and put the Rams in some trouble? Sure enough, the decision backfires pretty badly. The Patriots punt it, but don't win the field position battle, as it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So if we count it from the spot of the delay of game, it's just a 17-yard punt in terms of net. Then, the Rams drive right down the field and without facing a single 3rd down, find the end zone to tie it up. The decision proved to be incredibly costly, as the Rams won the game by 6 points, winning it 28-22. If the Patriots tried a field goal and it was good, it'd be 28-25, and on their final drive, the Pats wouldn't need a touchdown to be successful. Instead, they would only need a field goal. Plus, the psychological aspect and element of being up by 2 scores could have played a part in how the game was played the rest of the way. Safe to say, the decision by the man you've been watching in Jerod Mayo to not let Joey Slye try the field goal was highly controversial and received a ton of scrutiny. I saw a lot of people in both real time and afterwards pinning the loss on that decision, which completely turned the tide and the entire complexion of the contest. And this was especially true when you realize that I did an episode of Dumb Decisions during a New England Patriots game against the San Francisco 49ers that involved him, 2 months ago, setting the franchise record with a 63-yard field goal, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. So the fact that Mayo bypassed that field goal a field goal that was nearly a whole 10 yards shorter, to punt it away? Yeah, that was going to be criticized. However, I can't call this a dumb decision at all. I just can't. I'm not crazy about Jerod Mayo as head coach, but honestly, I've got no problem whatsoever with him punting the ball away and not trying to go for the field goal. I can absolutely defend the decision to surrender on the drive and not take any points and potentially risk giving up good field position if you try the field goal. Jerod Mayo's decision deserves to be defended, and I'm going to do that here. Welcome to In Defense Of. Let's dive right in. All right, so you have three options in this spot. Option one is to do what the Patriots did, which is to punt the ball away. It's the best option by far in terms of winning the field position battle, because the absolute worst case scenario, barring a block, is that the other team is starting at the 20-yard line if you can't down it inside there. However, it's the option that doesn't get you points. It's the only option on the board that doesn't give you a chance at extending your lead and making it a 2-score game, which is a massive deal for obvious reasons. Option two is to go for it, but to go for it on 4th and 12 would be just outright nonsensical at this juncture in the game, seeing as it is such a low percentage play. And if you don't convert on an incomplete pass, the Rams are getting the ball close to midfield. Going for it on 4th and 12 is a desperation move that you only do in the fourth quarter when absolutely necessary, or if it's the end of the first half and it's the final play no matter what happens. The field goal option, however, the one that just about everyone besides Mayo would have done, let's talk about that. Because here's the thing with kicking a 55-yard field goal. It all depends on whether your kicker has a realistic chance of hitting it. It's not one of those things in a vacuum that you have to do no matter what. If you send an average fan on the street to try a 55-yard field goal in freezing cold temperatures, that's really stupid. Conversely, if you're in a dome and you decide not to have Brandon Aubrey try a 55-yard field goal and decide to punt it away, that's really stupid. And on paper, not having Joey Slye try this field goal, which is long but is by no means impossible, and is expected to be made by just about every kicker in football, seems like a really stupid thing. However, if your kicker can't make it, then he can't make it. It's that simple. It's like how in golf, you know how far your club can get you, and you have a pretty good idea on your distance. If you can drive the ball 250 yards and it's a par 4 that's 290 yards, and there's a giant water trap in front of the green, you're not going to use the driver and think that you can drive it in one, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And here, having Joey Slye try the field goal is setting yourself up for failure. It was a pretty windy day in Foxborough. Wasn't necessarily anything crazy, but the wind definitely played a part in this game. And Slye knew this, and it definitely impacted him. During the pregame warm-ups, the longest kick he made was from 53 yards. He tried kicks longer than that, but didn't hit a single one. He missed 3 kicks during the pregame warm-ups when the wind was not as bad as it was during the game, including one from 54 and one from 58. So he was awfully erratic. What happened against the Niners when he drilled one from well over 60 yards? We were definitely not going to see Joey Slye do that in this game. No chance. His range was probably somewhere in that low 50s, where from 53 yards and in, you would try it, but outside 53, it was going to be tough. And Slye agrees. Said Slye on how he was feeling on that play. That side of the field, definitely wind was in the face, and it was kind of switching left to right and right to left. I wasn't hitting my A-ball really. It was just outside of the range we had talked about. It's probably right on the edge of it. So not only do you have a kicker who didn't hit in warmups from that far out, and not only do you have a kicker that was erratic going into the game, but you had a kicker who didn't even know what direction the wind was going in, so he didn't even know how to kick the ball. Plus, the wind was in his face, so that makes it even tougher to get a good carry on the ball. Yeah, I can 100% see why the man even watching this whole time in Jerod Mayo decided not to kick the field goal here. Part of being a good coach is knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your players. If you know your own players well, they're going to put yourself in a better position to win. It's why what the Chicago Bears did, and what head coach Matt Eberflus did on Sunday against the Packers, made no sense regarding the end of the game, because it seemed as though he had no idea who Cairo Santos was, because if he did, he would have tried to get significantly closer and run another play. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And I'm not calling Mayo a good coach by any means, but he knew on this day what Joey Slye was about. He knew that he didn't have the distance or the accuracy. He knew that the wind was blowing in a weird direction to the point where his kicker couldn't quite make it out. If Slye's not begging to kick the field goal there, and if Slye is saying, yeah, this is a bit outside my range today, I can't fault the coach for making the decision to punt, especially when the alternative is going for it on 4th and super long. It's almost like if you're a singer. Let's say that you're in a cover band that plays 80s Billy Joel songs, and you're asked to perform the Catalina wine mixer. The song Tell Her About It goes all the way up to belting a B flat. Most days, you can hit that note with ease. Heck, there are some days where you can even go a whole step or even 2 whole steps higher. However, for whatever reason, when you're warming up before the set, which you can't afford to blow because again, it's the Catalina wine mixer, you're struggling to hit that note. Maybe you're a bit under the weather. Maybe your throat is sore. Maybe the weather is making it tough to hit those notes because it's cold outside. Whatever the case, you can't hit that note. At that point, I can't fault you for scrapping the song from the set list or changing the key down a half or a whole step and trying something else. That's what Jerod Mayo did here. Most days, yeah, this is a really dumb decision to bypass the field goal. On this day, not at all. Now again, that's not to say that Jerod Mayo coached a good game in the game between these two teams behind me right here. He made a lot of decisions that I did not agree with whatsoever. I didn't agree with the decision to kick the extra point down 28-19 in the 4th quarter. I am a believer that you go for 2 in that spot, so you know exactly what you need on the next drive, whether you're down by 1 real score or 2 scores. I did not agree with running the ball on 1st and 10 with 2:06 left. You run a play to the outside and it falls incomplete, or you run a pass and it falls incomplete, and you get another playoff. You need chunk plays during this time because you need to go down the field and score a touchdown. If it was a short yard situation, different story, but I don't agree with running the ball on 1st and 10 with 2:06 left in the game. And I didn't agree with how they handled Christian Gonzalez. He's a shutdown corner, and he should have been shadowing either Cup or Nakua the entire game. The fact that he didn't, I don't agree with that at all. So again, Mayo, not a great game, but I will defend this decision for sure. I think this was the right call. Jerod Mayo has had his issues as a head coach. Oh, he's had many, many issues. And the jury is still very much out as to whether or not this is actually going to work or whether this is going to be a disastrous thing, especially considering the controversy with hiring him in the first place. But he deserves a massive break, at the very least, when it comes to the decision to bypass the field goal in the 2nd quarter. Because when you consider the field position at stake, the fact that Joey Slye was awful in pregame warmups, the fact that the kick was well outside of Joey Slye's range considering the wind and how he was performing, the fact that Joey Slye didn't even know what direction the wind was going in, and the fact that it was way too long to go for it, the decision to pump the ball here, even if it didn't work out, is one decision that you can definitely make a defense for. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot, and check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.